Wolves are known as formidable predators, and encountering one in the aftermath of a car crash could be a terrifying situation. However, when a wolf came across a baby after such an accident, what unfolded was nothing short of astonishing. Leona and Simon were a dynamic couple living and working in a bustling city in the heart of Russia. Their fast-paced careers had initially brought them together, with Leona working as a brand representative and Simon in sales. Their initial encounter sparked an undeniable connection, and they soon became an inseparable pair. Together, they thrived in their respective roles, enjoying a luxurious lifestyle filled with extravagant parties and opulent surroundings. Their world took an unexpected turn when Leona discovered she was pregnant. Although they hadn't actively planned for a child, the news filled them with joy. They looked forward to welcoming their baby into their seemingly perfect life. However, their happiness was short-lived. Abruptly, the company they both worked for faced financial ruin, leaving them and their fellow employees jobless overnight. Their lavish lifestyle crumbled, forcing them to sell their grand house and relocate to a smaller home near the forest on the outskirts of the city. It was a humbling transition, but one they embraced to provide their unborn child with a chance at a happy life. In their new life, Leona and Simon made ends meet by taking on modest jobs in a nearby village. Simon supplemented their income by hunting for deer in the forest to put food on the table. One day during a routine hunting trip, Simon encountered an unexpected presence, a large, hungry wolf. This formidable creature had been stalking the same deer, but instead of confronting it, Simon offered the kill to the wolf, recognizing its dire need. The wolf hesitated for a moment, then accepted the offering with a grateful look. After a brief inspection, it carried the carcass deeper into the woods. Simon, no stranger to the forest, was astonished by the encounter. He knew wolves were apex predators, capable of taking down prey effortlessly, but this particular wolf had left a lasting impression on him. While Simon was still processing the encounter, his phone rang. It was Leona, who was in labor. He hurried to the hospital, where he arrived just after the birth of their beautiful baby girl, Maddie. Seeing their daughter for the first time filled Simon with an overwhelming sense of joy and purpose, surpassing any happiness he had experienced during their previous affluent life. Their blissful days were cut short when disaster struck again. While driving with Maddie in the car, a fierce storm caused a massive tree to fall directly in their path. Simon swerved, but the car collided with the trunk and flipped over, knocking him unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, Simon's first concern was Maddie's safety. He realized she was missing from her car seat. Panicked, he called Leona and recounted the horrifying ordeal. Leona rushed to the scene and together, they scoured the area for their precious baby. Authorities were alerted, but despite their extensive search efforts, Maddie remained nowhere to be found. Determined not to give up, Simon continued searching into the night, battling the wind and rain. It wasn't until the following morning that he discovered a vital clue in the dense forest. He stumbled upon a blanket that belonged to Maddie, damp and dirty. His heart sank, and he couldn't bear the thought of what might have happened to their daughter. Suddenly, he heard rustling behind him. A large wolf, the same one he had encountered before, emerged, carrying a piece of Maddie's dress in its mouth. Simon's heart raced as he considered the possibility that the wolf had harmed their baby. However, the wolf turned away and walked in a direction, seeming to invite Simon to follow. Filled with a mix of dread and hope, Simon trailed the wolf, ultimately discovering Maddie lying in the open, cooing softly but otherwise unharmed. Her clothes were torn and dirty, but she was alive. Simon embraced his daughter, tears streaming down his face, overcome with relief and gratitude. He couldn't fathom how Maddie had ended up so far into the forest. Unbeknownst to Simon, the wolf had witnessed the car crash and, driven by instinct or empathy, had carried the baby to safety. It was a miraculous act of protection that had kept the child alive. As Simon looked at the wolf, he whispered a heartfelt thank you, knowing he could never fully repay the creature for its incredible kindness. With Maddie safely in his arms, Simon left the forest and reunited with Leona. The wolf disappeared into the wilderness, leaving an indelible mark on Simon's heart. This extraordinary experience forever linked the wolf, Maddie, and her grateful parents in a tale of unexpected compassion and the enduring power of the natural world.